We now come on to a presentation about what can AHSNs do for you, and I'm delighted to welcome to the stage Dr Liz Mear, who's chair of the AHSN and the Innovation Agency. Liz.
Thank you, everybody. How do I follow that? What a passionate presentation about how we can all step up as leaders. So I'm Liz Mear. I'm not the Mear out of La La Land. Hopefully the presentation will give you an overview of what AHSNs do, how they can help you, and how you can engage with them to make the most of your products and technologies. So there are 15 academic health science networks across England. We cover populations of between 3 and 5 million in each academic health science network, and our role is to support innovation into practice. For those of you who have been trying to get an innovation or a technology into the NHS, you'll know it's not always straightforward, so we try and handhold and support those companies who have got products. To improve economic growth by supporting companies, creating jobs, and also to work with our providers of health and care and housing associations to actually improve health through innovation. So we're hoping that by handholding the innovation, we get new products and services out to residents and patients. They don't need to use a health system because they're healthy and able to look after their own conditions at home, and we grow businesses like yours because they have the great products to roll out. So we work with a range of stakeholders. All NHS trusts, commissioners, GPs are our partners and part of an AHSN. We work with patients, volunteers, charities to get their views and also to gain funding for products. We work with industry, small businesses, large companies, local authorities, and anybody else who might be a good partner. Recently, we've worked a lot with housing associations. They can make a massive impact on people's health, and they're helping us to deploy products out to their residents and citizens who come to them and their families so that we can improve health and stop people having to use a health system and stay healthier for longer. So we've been going for around about 4 years. We have made great strides into adopting innovation into practice. So as I say, we cover a range of sectors. So you'll see we've got innovations in 11,000 locations, which sounds really high, but we cover care homes, we cover GP surgeries. So when you look at that in context, the number is reasonable. We've created over 500 jobs. Around about 350 of those have been supported by European funding. We've managed to draw funding down to run business assist programs. So we're looking at how we supplement that, and I'm going to talk about that a bit later on. And we've helped to put about 200 innovations into practice, and I'm going to describe a few of those in the presentation. So next year, we are relicensed by NHS England, and they've asked us to focus on a number of areas so that we really hone the work down and make sure that we're making maximum impact across the country. So the 9 areas are there. I've highlighted the areas in red that I think are most important for you as an audience. So one of the innovation exchanges. This is a programme that's been sponsored by the Office for Life Sciences as part of a new life sciences strategy. And what they're looking to do is to sponsor the 6 highest transformational innovations that we can find. So every year we'll have about 6 or 7 innovations that we think can transform the health landscape and handhold those innovations into practice. So that's been worked up. Each AHSN will supplement its current business assist service by scanning for innovations, supporting those innovations to help them to really focus on what they need to put them into practice and putting them out into the system and monitoring that we've got good uptake. So you might be somebody sat out there who's got a product that you think, actually, I think this is transformational. If so, please do come and have a word with me after the presentation. There are another 2 areas. Digital health, obviously, is one of our big areas that we support, medtech and economic growth. By growing businesses, by getting products out there, we grow the economy. This is the area that I cover at the Innovation Agency, and we've been prolific supporters of the TSA. Our main focus area for the Innovation Agency is to put digital innovation into practice, and we passionately believe that we need to move from analogue to digital. We sponsored a roundtable to look at how we develop the white paper, and we're looking forward to working with TSA to rolling that out over the coming years. We are real advocates of programmes that come out of NHS England that come with funding so that we make a difference to our residents. So within the area we've got a test bed, an NHS England test bed. I don't know how many of you have heard Simon Stevens talking about combinatorial innovation. I think it's a new word that is invented, but it's about layering different innovations and technologies to impact on the lives of residents. We have 2 healthy new towns based on using technology to help people stay healthier for longer at home. We have 4 global digital exemplar hospitals in the region that are about transforming our acute hospitals so that they use technology in the best way to serve their patients and staff. We have 6 vanguards, which are areas rolling out different technologies and new ways of working, and the list goes on and on. But fortunately, we have lots of brilliant digital health companies who can help us to achieve the goal of being fully digitally enabled across the region and supporting our residents to manage their own health. So how do we spread innovation across academic health science networks? I've told you a little bit about our partnerships and working with industry, NHS, local government, universities. This innovation that's shown on the screen, the EpiScissors 60, is a very non-technical innovation, and it's about supporting ladies in childbirth. Basically, it's a pair of scissors that makes a cut at the right angle, so it's not a nice thing to imagine in the morning, but it makes a difference to people's lives. So as well as all the whizzy digital kit, we have some innovations that are very straightforward, very simple, very easy for hospitals to pick up and roll out. The new way of working in health systems are STPs, Sustainability and Transformation Partnerships. They bring together all the NHS providers and commissioners, local authorities, Health Watch and other voluntary agencies into a coherent whole. So we work with the innovations into our STPs. In the region I'm in, we've got 2. Some AHSNs have got 6 STPs, but it's a good way of organising health services, so there's a quick point of contact to take these innovations to see if they will help the health system, and also to specify the needs of a health system, so we make sure that innovations and technologies we're coming up with are the right ones. We support NHS England in a programme called the Innovation and Technology Tariff. They've run another programme this year called the Innovation and Technology Payment, and this is something that if you've got some really fantastic technologies, it's worth keeping an eye out for. So these are technologies that NHS England think can transform the health of residents, are quite low cost, so they don't cost the health system any more money in times of austerity, but can be rolled out fairly quickly across the service. So there are 3 examples on the screen. The colourful example of a smartphone is a platform called MyCOPD, and this supports people who've got chronic obstructive pulmonary disease to manage their own conditions. So it's an online platform with videos of how you might manage your condition, what you do if you start getting exacerbation of symptoms, and it connects you into COPD sufferers across the world. So you've got a network that you can go to and say, is this normal? What do I need to do? And a network of clinicians. NHS England is sponsoring the licences for those in this year. So normally it would cost a GP surgery £20 to put somebody on MyCOPD. That's a lifetime fee. NHS England are paying that in year. So if you wanted to put your whole practice of patients with COPD on that system, you could do that in this year for no cost. The next one, the gun you can see at the bottom, this is about management of prostate operations. So if you're a gentleman with an enlarged prostate, at the moment you'll go to hospital, you'll have a procedure under anaesthetic, under general anaesthetic, but maybe you'll be staying in hospital for 3 days, lots of discomfort, and you will have lots of side effects. This enormous gun, and if you see it in real life, it's about that big, fires a stitch, 2 stitches into the prostate that holds back the enlargement, and you leave hospital on the same day. So again, sorry, another gruesome topic for a Tuesday morning, but it really is a fantastic innovation that helps people to stay healthy. They go in for a day, they come out, no side effects, and it reduces pressure on the health system because you're a day case, not somebody who's having to stay in hospital for 3 nights with a lot of discomfort. The monitor, you can see the ECG reading. This is a device called it's called a LiveCore, MyCardia by a LiveCore. If you can see that on the screen, this tiny little device fits on the back of a smartphone. You download an app and you can take an ECG reading, and you can tell if you're having an atrial fibrillation or an irregular heartbeat. So if anybody's had an ECG, at the moment you go to hospital, you have a Holter on for 24 hours, you normally don't have a fibrillation within the 24 hours, and you're back again to do that time and time again. This device costs £90 on Amazon, really easy to use. It's being bought by patients as well as GP surgeries, and again NHS England is sponsoring it in this year, and we've bought a warehouse full of these things so we can deploy across the NHS. And AHSN have been deploying these technologies for around about 4 years now, and if you want to know a bit about it, we've got a session this afternoon talking about this technology. So AHSN's also support a programme called the National Innovation Accelerator Programme. These are 3 of our innovators who are on the programme. We've been running this programme now for 3 years, and we've just run around this year of getting new innovators on board. If you've got a fantastic technology or a product that you think will roll out across the NHS, look out for the adverts for next year's application. You will get a grant towards rolling your product out. You'll also get a mentor, somebody very senior in the sector that you want to deploy into. And you also get lots of publicity around your product and how it can be used. So it handholds it into practice. These are Francis White. Francis White's a LifeCore innovator. Matt Jameson, he runs a platform called Health Unlocked, and that's a platform that gauges opinions of residents and patients so we can start to plan the right innovations and treatments. And Lloyd Humphries from Patient Knows Best, that platform is about patients sharing their own records with whoever they want. So all the information governance we've got about how do we share record, if those records come from the patient or the residents and are shared how they want, that gets around information governance. It's me sharing with whoever I want to share it with. So a really well-known platform deploying across the country. So all academic health science networks have an innovation pathway. So if you come to us, we can help you to navigate the tricky landscape of getting your product into the NHS, into local authorities or regional housing associations. It is quite difficult. You see, there's lots of different stages in the pathway, but people come to us at all different stages of that pathway. So somebody might come with a product that's fully fledged and we just make introductions. Another person might come with an idea and we help them to work with a clinician or a local authority worker to get that product developed. So we don't just work on products, we work with people in the system. If you've got a great product, it might save money, it might be the best thing that we've seen since sliced bread, but if we haven't got people in the health and local authority system to deploy it, it's not going to get anywhere. So we connect people through events. We run hackathons looking at how products might be used and developed to get them into the system. We run digital ecosystems. We're on ecosystem number 14 in the North West Coast, and we bring our digital innovators, our clinicians, our local authorities, our universities together into a room to look at what state-of-the-art innovations are across the world, not just in England, but across the world. So we start to think about how could we do this better, what have we got here that we can deploy, and how do we support businesses to put products into practice. We have a network of innovation scouts across the North West Coast. We have 70 people in our organisations who we bring together as a network, and they support innovation into their local organisations. The innovation on the left, you can see the heart. That's a 3D printed heart, and we're working with a company. When somebody comes in for surgery, we will print the heart. The company will grow the heart, so you can actually see that a copy of that person's heart, and the surgical team can have a look at it to see where the problems are and decide how the operation will go and how best to work with that person's heart. So that reduces anaesthetic time. If you're that patient who's thinking, gosh, I've got this massive operation coming up, you can go and talk to the surgical team, you can have a look at a print of your own heart and see what's going wrong. And it does help the whole process to be more efficient and help people to recover from surgery quicker. And actually, just an anecdote from that company, they think the next iteration of this is growing limbs, or as we're growing older, if we think, oh, our kidneys and our liver will fail, we'll just grow another one in what looks like a big microwave and have it transplanted. So absolutely state-of-the-art technologies that just blow your mind. So I've talked a little bit about some of the programs that we support. The 3 programs on the screen are programs that your technologies might tie into. With the testbed programme, we have one in our region of the Lancashire and Cumbria Innovation Alliance, and that's about using digital technologies to keep people at home for as long as we can and help them to be comfortable and manage their own conditions at home. So we're working with what's classed in Europe as older people, which is over 55s, but those people who might have dementia or be frail. So the technologies we're deploying are all simple to use and help them to monitor conditions with their doctors. AHSN England have talked about an extension of this programme. So if you've got technologies that help people to live well at home, it's worth looking out for this programme expanding and looking for new companies to come along and support it. So we've got lots of fantastic things out there. I'm sure you're all sat there with fantastic products that we can put into practice. So if you want to match your product with the needs, a lot of innovation, a lot of academic health science networks have innovation exchanges, which is an online platform where you can apply to have your product listed. At the moment, we've got 15 of those across the countries in each academic health science network, but we're joining those together to create a single platform. So you'll be able to go onto that platform and you'll be able to get clinicians, other interested parties accessing the platform and looking at where your innovation might meet their needs, and we can help to deploy products out there. So what do our partners say about it? It's okay me standing here and saying this is what we're doing. So I've just put a few quotes on the slide from different partners about how they've been working with us. So I'll just pick out the key points from here. So this first quote is from Peacocks, and they talk about how we've helped them to broaden the communication and help them with intellectual property around the product. My Health talk again about helping us to communicate with them and put them in front of commissioners who are going to buy the product, and also to help them understand the level of detail they need to have behind a product to get it into action for a commissioner to buy it. We've also talked about us engaging our local STP, which, if you remember, are the partnerships I talked about that are crucial for getting a product into the NHS. Helicon talks to us about opening the right doors to the right people, so creating a pathway so a product can get in front of the right people and be deployed. This is a stroke prevention programme. For AHSN, this has been one of our major pieces of work. How do we stop people becoming ill and going into hospital? And we've had much success by partnering with the local and national AHSNs. The final quote is from one of the innovators in our region, and this is a company called Red Ninja, who develop digital products such as sensors. They develop apps for young people to use to support mental health resilience, and since we've worked with them, they've grown a really good, thriving business that works internationally into India and other countries. They are a very go-getting company. They've used our support as a springboard, but they've done a lot of this themselves. And Lee, their chief exec, talks about evaluation. It's really important if you're bringing a product into the public sector that it's evaluated well, and empowering them with knowledge around commercial opportunities. So that's a snapshot from some of the people we've worked with. I hope we can work with you over the coming years. As I say, we will be working with TSA to put the white paper into practice. And if you want to get in touch with your local AHSN, there's a list up there of all the AHSNs, and if you want to know a bit more about us, or if you're in the North West and want to work with the Innovation Agency, please do come and speak to me over the lunch break or this afternoon. Thank you.